But like I said, this may not be for everyone. I just took a technique from porcelain and I applied it to my polymer clay, which would be hollow dolls. Okay, I have sculpted another head and I have hollowed it out. And I wanted to mention this just in case. Now, some of you, if you haven't seen my tutorial on what I use to hollow out my heads, I'll leave it in the description and you can check that out, is that when you use the wax as a cord to hollow it out, it does something to the polymer clay to where it actually gives it some strength. I love using this technique for ball jointed because when I first started doing the ball jointed back with the porcelain was a lot stronger as far as around the joints, and polymer clay to me was a little bit weak. And in order for me, that is, in order for me to get the look that I like, I want a thinner base of clay. I don't like my ball jointed to be thick looking. Okay, now this is really thin. It's something about the wax that it just does something. I mean, see if I can do it. See, look. I mean, I can just keep doing this. I'm sure that eventually, you know, you could break it, but it just does something to it. Now, if I have some eyes already made up, and these are on glass beads, and I wanted to share with you, this is a little stand from a pizza when they put it in the center of the box so that the box doesn't cave in on the pizza. They make great little stands for anything if you have to, you know, put it on something and let it dry or something. But this works perfect because it goes right underneath my UV light. Okay, we're going to set that aside. You're going to need a drill and you're going to need a bit with a ball. And somebody did tell me what that attachment was called, and I'm not remembering it. A burr? Maybe a burr. Okay. Here we go. Sorry for the noise, but I can't mute it. You want to go slow. And I don't press hard. I'll show you what I've got so far. Now you can also cut these out, but you know, I'm not going to tell you a lie with this. To cut them out, it's going to take a little bit more work. I just find that the drill is so much handier and easier. And even if I do go into the brow a little bit, I'm still going to add clay to this. So I'm not real particular, but I will try to do my best to just hollow out that hole. Just really take your time with this and let the drill do the work. When you see that doing that with the drill, that's telling me to let up. That it's like vibrating. If I don't let up, what can happen is my head can just flip right out of my hand. It takes a while doing this. See how that vibrated? You gotta let up. Okay, now I'm through. And what I'm doing is I'm taking that burr bit, the ball bit, and I'm just going around those edges just a little bit, very lightly, inside of the eye. I'm not coming outside of it, to the front of the eye. Okay? Now I'm going to finish this one off. There it went through. Going around the sides of the inside of the eye. Now with porcelain, what you would do is you would cut it out with an X-Acto knife. At least that's how I did it. I just took a technique that I did with the porcelain and I've applied it to polymer clay. And I think eventually I'm going to get to the point to where the polymer clay is going to really feel and look like porcelain. Now that might not be for everybody, but that is just something that I'm going for. I want to make it as thin as I can, but I want it to be strong. Okay, there I have both of them out. Okay. Let me turn this off because we're going to have to work on the inside. When I just drop the head on the table, you know, don't take your good piece and do it and have it, you know, break. Because I think, you know, really, anything can break. So I wanted to mention that. Don't take a good piece and say, oh, you know, it'd be my luck. It'd be my first one that would break. But I just want to show you there is a difference in it. Okay. Now this is when I'll look at it and look at my bridge and see how this area right in here is matching up with this one. And it looks to me like this is down a little bit further. I'm not sure. I'll have to, yeah, I think it is. Might have to shave that down a little bit. Okay, the inside of it. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to just show you this part so you can get the idea, but there's going to be some adjustments. Okay, I'm going to take one of my eyes here and very quickly, let me get my tool. Okay. And I'm going to take my smallest stylus and I'm going to just stick it right in the hole there. And whoops. This is where you got to have a little bit of patience. You know, I'm letting you see the real thing. Nothing cut out. Okay. Now I'm going to see how I'm placing it. Now it's not lined up. I understand that. But what I'm doing is I'm looking at this and I'm seeing how the eye, inside of the eye, is pressing up against the eye, or the glass bead. Let me see if I can make that more clear. Okay? So, I want that to be cut out a little bit more. Now, with porcelain with porcelain dolls, I've showed you the balls with it, and they're called eye sizers, and what they do is they go from the back of the head, and they actually see it tells them the size of the eye. Okay. Let's see if this is going to fit. Okay. Now I'm going to just take my bit. You might not be able to see it because I really have to see this part, so I might be tilting it to where you can't see it. But I'll try to explain to you as I'm doing this, and then maybe turning it while I am doing it. I don't know. Okay, let's see if I can turn it. I don't know if you can see, but I'm taking it and I am going right on the edge of the inside of the back of the head with the eye socket. And I'm just kind of like if you were coloring, it would be like a stroke like that. It's nothing that I'm really pressing into. I'm just running it across the back of the eye. Okay, now let me see how it fits. Oh yeah. Much better. But I think I want to take off a little bit more right up in here and a little bit more down on the bottom. So here we go. You're going to see this whole procedure, you guys, so I'm not cutting any of this video out. So for many of you that feel like this is being drawn out, well, this is the way that I've chose to make this tutorial so that you can see what I actually go through, and then you can make the choice on whether if this technique would be for you, because I don't want it to be misleading that this is going to only take just a couple of minutes to do. I think what I'll do is just one eye, because basically it's going to be the same thing on the other eye. You know, go slow, take a little bit off at a time. Okay, let's put it in and measure it. Okay, I'm still going to take off a little bit right up there. And I'm looking at the other eye too. I'm taking a little bit off of there too because I can see it as I'm doing this one. Okay. Now sometimes I've even had to open up the top of the head a little bit more, but not much. Okay, I'm going to work on the other eye a little bit too, because I can see, when I'm taking this off, I can see the other side right where it needs to be taken off. Okay, let's give that a try. Uh-oh. See? Patience, patience. I don't know if you can see that. It's coming out really good. Now then, I'm going to show you this part too, because sometimes I have to do this. If you take a knife and I'm just going to shave the inside, not the outside, not this part. Sometimes if you just see a little spot, okay, let's go ahead and put it in. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. Okay, now let me try my other eye. I try both of them in one eye because I want to make sure I put the right one in. Okay, that one's going to fit too. Good. Okay. And let's go ahead and let's try this one. See? Now that one there, do you see how much I've got to drill out? Quite a bit. And that is how much I did drill out. And you see how it's real flush? Okay, now you're probably wondering, how do I get that eye in? Okay, I'm just going to roughly show you. And I will take some clay. Now, it depends. Sometimes I will put the clay on the back. See if I can find that hole. Okay, what I need to do, because my clay doesn't want to stick, it would be a little bit better, but what I need to do is I need to go in there and wipe the head down. Let me go ahead and clean the head up because it'll make it so much easier, and I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, I had to go off camera because I want to explain to you what I had to do. When you drill inside, it gets like a dust from the polymer clay, and I really thought that I just, by blowing it out, it got it clean enough, but I was having a problem with it. So what I did was I took my airbrush and I went in there with some air to really clean that out, because that powder polymer clay, when I was trying to stick the raw clay in it, it just makes it so that I have to battle with that a little bit harder because it doesn't want to stick. So I wanted to explain that to you, what I did. Okay, now when I was off camera, I went ahead and I did one eye, but I'm going to pretty much take you through this one. But I want to show you that all I did was I just took some clay and I made up a pretty good sized ball so that it fits into the hole. But don't worry about it, because you see how I've got it coming out. And what I did was I've got my finger behind it and I just kind of want to flatten it out just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to take my other eye and I'm going to do the same thing. Put my little tool in it, and I'm going, whoops, see if I can do this. I just want to start it, get it in that clay. Now see, I've just got it sticking in there. It's not even aligned or anything. But then what I do is I want to push it towards the front of the face, the eye, and I'm going to take this clay and I'm going to take some of it off so that I can see the eye. Now I'm not cleaning up around really precise around the edges because I really want to fill that in. So by me leaving a little bit of that clay, it just kind of eliminates that. And let me see if I can get it turned. Sometimes I'll have to put my tool back in and go back in. Once I can get it started, let me try it this way. Sometimes if I go in this way, there we go. Trying to keep as much clay on it as I can because I want that to stick, the eye. Okay. And really, if it ends up that you take most of the clay off, it's really no big deal. Okay. Now I want to get that eye up. You know, like I said, this isn't a quick procedure, but you guys wanted to know. I know if I saw somebody do it, I'd want to know too. Doesn't mean that you might end up doing it. It's just kind of nice to see how people do certain things. Okay, come on, there we go. Okay, now I'm not quite sure if I've got that lined up, but I'm going to show you the eyelid. Okay, now since I've got some clay left there, just going to go ahead and just work in an eyelid just as much as I can. And then I want to show you on this one, I added a little bit more of a brow, which I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Now there's two ways that you can do this, and I want to show you guys really the easiest way to do this, and then if you want to tackle the other, you can. But what I do is when I sculpt the eyelid on, I very gently will push that eye back out. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that my eyelid stays in that same place. And then when I push the eyes out, then I cook it. And then I go back in and I'll put my eyes in. But before I put my eyes in, what I do is I will go ahead and paint for the eyeliner without the eye now. The eyeliner, and then I apply the eyelashes on, and then I put the eye back in from the back, and I take my 2-part epoxy, and that will be the last thing that I do to make sure that the eyes stay. Now I might, after I cook the eyelid in that, I still have to sometimes put a little bit of polymer clay in the back of here to get that eye in there so that it has something to grab to, and then I just go ahead and get the eyes in the position. And I hope that that made sense. But you can do it either way. The way that I'm doing it right now, leave the eyes in, then I'll cook it, and after it's cooked, then I'll go in the back, put the 2-part epoxy in there and pack those eyes in. Go ahead and put your eyeliner on and then your eyelashes. But really, to be honest with you, I like doing it the other way with no eyes in and then putting the eyeliner and the eyelashes on. Okay, and I won't get really into the detailing part of this. You can see this eye, but that's basically how I do it. And then just to show you that this is what I would do, because I built this side up, is I'm going to add that little piece of brow on it. And when I'm doing this now, again, I'm pressing down, pulling, Pressing down, pulling. Always press down. Okay. See, and just go in there, work it. And I'll have to work with that eyelid. And make sure, I think I need to come up a little bit with that eye. Let's see. Maybe a little bit. Now, and then whenever I was all done, I'll go in there and I'll wipe the eyes just a little bit to shine them up, because between the, you know, the polymer clay, the oils and that, I just want it to make them really shine. But that's how I would do it, everyone. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.